your girl Jay, the High Priestess, back at it again with the general astrology forecast for Gemini season, which, by the way, welcome to Gemini season 2023. I'm only going to pull one card at the end once we get through this from the Tarot of Mystical Moments. I had the twins, and they're like conjoined twins, so I don't know, it just felt right to pull from that deck. But be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising. Y'all already know Patreon gets everything first. Patreon.com/justjeverything for free content. Check out my Instasham at justj_everything, TikTok at justjeverything, and for other dope shit that I do, my website, justjeverything.com. So, Gemini, welcome to the season of, I know Gemini season is the anniversary for the YouTube channel. And I want to say it's the third. I want to say this is the third, Gemini, third house. I'm pretty sure this is the third or fourth. I gotta look. I'm pretty sure it's the third. But either way, welcome to the season of I think. And Geminis are ruled by Mercury. And have you ever heard that phrase, mercurial, that someone is mercurial? It very much so applies to Gemini energy and Virgo energy. But mercurial, the definition of mercurial is someone that is subject to sudden or unpredictable changes of mood or mind. Someone that is subject to sudden or unpredictable changes of mood or mind. But the key theme here is changeable. That's the big thing with this season that I want us to remember. This Gemini is fucking mutable energy. We are entering like the dead of spring. And Cancer will initiate this is not the dead of spring. This is mutable Gemini is like the ending of spring, and like the beginnings of summer is starting to draw in. Mutable signs like end their season and begin the new. And so there is this like transformation. There is this fluid, changeable kind of energy with mutable signs. And so the key theme, I feel like, for Gemini season 2023 is changeable. What can you change with the power of your mind? What can you change in your 3D day-to-day life with the power of your mind? You are capable of change, but it's got to initiate with your mind. And it's got to initiate with your mind first, because one of the first like hermetic laws, like all is mental. One of the first like laws of the universe to co-create, 333, to co-create confirmation, to co-create with the divine, you gotta have your motherfucking mind right. And that's one thing that, one of my favorite scriptures, anytime that I'm in a place of like physical fear, I often use this if I'm like driving like in high altitude. But it's like, my God did not give me a spirit of fear, but a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. The sound mind part, meaning like my mind is structurally sound. It is, I am someone of a right mind. I got all my screws are appropriately fastened and tightened. That's basically what a sound mind is referring to. And so there is something there about making sure that like you take this season to like get your mind fucking sound. And I love that those of you who do the dailies, the captains, shout out to Patreon Spartan Spirit Squadron. The captains, y'all get daily readings. And I know that I did, there was, I think this was for the 9th, 10th, or 11th. I read from my daily book from Hafiz, and Hafiz is a Sufi poet. And one of the lines is, "Sound said to me, I want to be holy." And I just, the part, sound said to me, like, what are you listening to? What are you absorbing? What do you have? What are you open enough to hear? What are you open enough to like process? And of a sound mind, being able to receive information and allow yourself to be updated, allow your thought processes and your behaviors to change when you receive new information. But I feel like this Gemini season 2023 is like, your brain, your intellect, that shit's a muscle too. It's really important to be working that. I feel like now is the time to like revel in that like quirky, you know, girl reading in the corner or person reading in the corner, like in the coffee shop. One of my others, shout out to, never mind, I can't shout you out, but one of my favorite mental images of a partner metamor of mine is every time I walk into this particular like coffee shop, he's like sitting in a corner reading. And there's just something, it's even an Instagram a page or profile. It's like hot guys reading or something. There's something hot about being fucking smart. So I feel like this Gemini season, what do you want to be more of an expert on? What do you want your forte to be? What do you want? Like, there's some kind of like, I hear savant. Like, what do you, there is something about leaning into that energy. Read more fucking books. Let yourself buy more books. Bitch, they banning shit now. They burning books in Florida. Jesus, take the wheel. So you better get a hold of your shit while you can. But there is something here about just like absorbing more knowledge, educating yourself. I mean, this is Gemini that we're talking about, which is all about early education, communication, interacting. And interacting requires like vocabulary, words, diction, and understanding of tone and how your tone and words and diction are perceived. Having some variation of a concept of how you're being perceived. Kind of first house energy, Libra energy, but there is something about strengthening the muscle of your brain. Because the brain is the liaison between the spirit and the body. And I just feel like with the power of your mind, your thoughts, your words, what will you change first? What will you let yourself change first? Lean into that. Think about that shit. That's not a rhetorical question. So on May 21st, Gemini gets the sun, baby. And there's this like childlike, playful curiosity that I think that you should really let in. Really, like it's interesting because the word that I want to keep, that keeps coming up, is adolescent. And there's something about maybe going back to your adolescence. What did you want to do? What were you interested in? What were you passionate about during that period of your life? But there is like, let your childlike curiosity reign. Let it reign for a bit. Let it take hold and take hold in fun, productive, non-chaotic ways. And you know the fucking difference at this point, so I'm not going into it. So as of May 21st, we have entered Gemini season. Then on June 1st, Jupiter in Taurus will be conjuncting the North Node in Taurus. And this feels like, whoo! What is it? Way up, I feel blessed. That's how it feels, like way up. Way up, I feel blessed. I'm worthy of blessed. Make sure I feel like you need to really have your self-image in check and your worthiness at a new level at least before this transit, before June 1st. So if you need an answer to that question about what to use your mind, your thoughts, and your words to change first, let it be your self-worth. Let it be your relationship to your self-worth. Bringing in the lessons from Taurus season and establishing new behaviors and new thought processes and new ideals about yourself in Gemini season. So this is like very, very lucky time. There's something here about like a harvest materialized. We all have been talking about our harvest is here. Our harvest is here. We can feel it. We feel things coming. We know that it's coming. We've been talking about this stuff coming. I've been trying to encourage us all to be patient and wait because it's coming. And the divine, and I said it a while ago, the divine's letting the beat build. God's going to let the beat build on that ass. And it's just going to be the most delicious drop. So I feel like really, really focusing on faith. And when you have faith in something, you don't need to ask for it over and over and over again. You fucking believe. When you have faith, you don't need to worry about something. So there is like, I've prayed, I've done I've done whatever it is that you do so that you don't have to worry, so you don't have to keep getting on your face over and over and over about the same thing. When you have faith, you don't need to ask a whole bunch of times. I hope that resonates for somebody. Anyway, yeah, that feels big. It's like really put in some serious, sincere work into getting your self-worth and your self-image up a notch. Not to the point where you're in like arrogant or cocky range, but you know what I mean. On June 3rd, we have the full moon in Sagittarius, and it's just like, I'll do a separate video, but what's keeping you from seeing more of the world? Hell, what's keeping you from at least like checking out your neighborhood, seeing your neck of the woods, tapping into at least your backyard, or, you know, like just getting out and familiarizing yourself with your surroundings. Sagittarius and Gemini, that axis really rules travel. And so there is something about travel, exploration, adventure, fun, getting out in the world and letting yourself be curious and absorbing your surroundings. So if you can't do long distance travel, then at least start dreaming it up and planning with it and connecting with those memories and then those ideals that I like that I said memories, because it's like, what kind of memories do you want to create? But I also feel like everything that you want to experience is some kind of like memory that is already locked inside of you somewhere. Something that you've already done, maybe in a past life. Or of course, yes, in a past life. But connecting with like, what memories do I want to make in this area or in this trip? But I just feel like, I remember once, my best friend and I, we wanted to go camping so bad that we just camped in my backyard. That we just like literally set up tents, had like snacks and foods and did all the things and slept in the tent out in the backyard. And so it's just like, get you some adventure, we all need a shift of environment this season. So on June 5th, Venus finally enters Leo, and I just feel like the audacity, bitch, the courage, the bravery to shine unapologetically is really coming in, and I'll be doing separate stuff on that, but goodness gracious, that's absolutely something to lean into, something to be paying attention to. Venus and Leo, I just feel like Mars is going to be in Leo first, then Venus gets in there, and it's just like fucking take off. It feels very like how things, what I'm anticipating is there's going to come this shift where things energetically feel like not how they did before COVID, but there's like a new normal establishing itself. And it feels kind of like 90s vibes. It feels very carefree. It feels very entrepreneurial. I feel like there's gonna come a point in the near future where a lot of people work for themselves. Anyway, but I just feel like Venus in Leo is going to attract in attention that you're wanting, attention that you are now ready for, because we all collectively have really healed in regards to our mind and healed in Gemini energy. Still working up and healing on all this Cancerian energy, but with this Leo stuff, it's like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like there's this bright light at the end of the tunnel that's coming in. Then on June 11th, boom, Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn, and it just feels like boom. And that's going to be different for everybody. But there is something that is going to be shifting. There is some sort of repositioning. There is some sort of revisiting or trying to prevent ordeals, learning from old ordeals, learning or wrapping up, finalizing transformations in regards to your career. There may be somebody with Scorpio or Capricorn or Cancer or Aries or Scorpio placements that I said Scorpio already. That is really, I feel like, going to be positively impacting your career. It may not feel positive at first, but everything ends up working out in your favor. And that's something that, especially with this Jupiter North Node conjunction, you better get real clear and real comfortable expressing that, like, I say it every day. I'm so lucky. I am so blessed. Everything works out for me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to the Most High. Thank you. Thank you. That I am so blessed. I am so lucky. Like, this shit just like left and right. Blessings. Like, the divine God be just showing out for me. Showing out. And it's because it's not even a because. I think it's because I really make room. I make space. I'm like, all right, like, let's go. Like, let's let shit get weird and let's just see where things go. And I feel like that's a thing. You expect the miraculous, you'll experience it. That same day that Pluto retrogrades into Capricorn, Mercury enters Gemini. Mercury goes home. And the Ace of Swords just came out. The first card that's come out since Mercury, the planet of the mind, coming home in Gemini season, the Ace of Swords. Whew, there is definitely something here with I feel like your mind getting back to normal. Your mind, remember, it's funny, I just said expanding the brain, and here's this like Fibonacci spiral here in regards to the brain, a key being given. I feel like, and there is a keyhole in the center of that. And so I feel like there is this profound unlocking of your mind. Some of you are going to feel like you're using more of your brain. That may be because, like, you stop drinking, or you stop smoking so much, or you stop dealing with so much drama, or you stop, some sort of behavior that was restricting your mind. You put down an old way of thinking, an old way of behaving. You put down old expectations, and then all of a sudden, bam, there are these keys, these tools that are coming in, that are being given, that just bring in so much aha moments. I also feel like some of you are connecting deeper with your ancestors, getting like deeper connections or understanding of like your lineage or your bloodline, or like some of you may be like related to famous people or related to historical figures in some sort of way. But there is this like a key to the city, key to success, key to your mind, key to brilliance, to genius coming in. Please clarify the Ace of Swords. How does the Ace of Swords manifest? There may be somebody with Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius placements coming in. Oh, that was fast. There may be somebody with Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius placements coming in with like some tea. There could be, oh, and it's funny, as I said some tea, I looked down and she's sipping tea. Some of you, and that's the Page of Cups. So there may be somebody with Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio placements coming in with great ideas, with tea, something that puts you on game. There could be healing modalities, opportunities, or invitations. I feel like there's also like apologies coming in, sudden apologies coming in, justice reverse. But I feel like, thank you for the apology. Now I will not be a groupie and I'm gonna keep it moving. Somebody's already shown you who they are, and I feel like don't play yourself. Five of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, I feel like there is some sort of apology for an injustice, an apology for maybe somebody, the way that somebody treated you, apology or an understanding of why someone showed up or didn't call or didn't text or ghosted or behaved unjustly. Something feels like fuck right or wrong. Something feels unjust, cosmically unjust in your life. And whoever that resonates for, I feel like there is this reckoning coming. There is not even a reckoning as in there is like a rebalancing. I feel like the divine's like, yep, you're right. This was fucked up. Things are imbalanced. Hold up. Six of Swords coming in, and then the Queen of Pentacles reversed. I feel like, but whatever injustice happened, it needed to happen because it got your mind in motion. It may have gotten your mind in motion by way of sadness, and you may have gone through a bout of depression or anxiety, or this may have been a really harsh winter, or some of you, like, you were initiated to move because of this like issue with self-doubt, your issue with self-worth. Queen of Pentacles reversed. I feel like there has been this maybe not nurturing yourself to the best of your ability. There may be somebody with Aquarius placements specifically. I feel like that's going to help you heal. There's some sort of healing coming in to your self-worth. I also feel like someone's coming in and acting as an anchor, acting as a tether. They're helping you tether to, some of you are traveling. Some of you are going to somewhere tropical. It's like you've been down in the dirt, and now you're going to somewhere tropical or somewhere warm or somewhere that's an island, or diving into island life, planning. It's time to plan trips. There's something about the closer we get to Cancer season, the deeper we get into Gemini season, it's important to, reconnect with water. But right now, it's time to reconnect with your mind. It's time to reconnect with thoughts, words, with memory, with your intellect, so that, and your ability to visualize, your ability to really talk your way into stuff. Articulate your feelings so that you can unload unnecessary weight, so that the journey there is not so strenuous in some sort of way. Some of you think that you don't have the money to travel. You think that you don't have the money, or you will never have the money. Some of you are being really like, oh, my financial situation will always be like this. It'll always blah, blah, blah. But it's like, if you say so, you're absolutely right. If that's what you believe, that's exactly what will happen. And so back to, again, the understanding that the power of the mind is going to really need to be your number one focus, and understanding, because the mind acts as that very specific liaison between your spirit and your body. And so it's really, really like important to make sure that like you're just checking in. It's time to check in. On June 17th, Saturn retrogrades in Pisces. And there is some sort of spiritual restructuring. And I feel like that restructuring is going to be based on like information that comes in. I feel it's also like some, I don't know, I just heard the word pseudoscience. And some of you like you're around people who like use that word a lot. And it's just like, understand that there was a point in time where astronomy, the actual study of the stars, astronomy and astrology were the same thing, but people used to call that a pseudoscience. Biology, all this shit used to be a pseudoscience at one point. Everything. Until more information, more tools are required. Astrology was not considered a pseudoscience until some fucking angry white dude got a fucked up reading, you know what I mean, and decided that that was a thing, or got burned by one of the little astro girlies back in the day, something. But you know, there was like an actual like person who decided this needs to be separate and this is blah 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 blah. Which, cool, whatever. Believe what you want to believe. Have this like bland ass magicless life. Anyway, lastly, on June 18th, we have the new moon in Gemini, which I will be doing a separate video, of course, but this is all about planting the seeds of the mind, planting of the seeds of the intellect, of logic. Make it make sense so it can make you sense, baby. And this Ace of Swords coming out says that these tools are going to be given, these big ideas are going to be given, and I feel like there are people around you who are coming in who are going to be helping with this. Please clarify justice reversed. Let's just do it. Please clarify justice reversed. What's going on with this? There may be some injustice that you experience with someone with Libra, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn placements. I just feel like there is this imbalancing of the home versus the life. For some of you, this definitely was someone with Taurus placements. The Hierophant just came out. This could be an imbalance or an injustice in school, in learning, in marriage, or in your commitment, your relationship to tradition, your relationship. It almost looks like there's like multiple moons when I hold it like that. But there's something here with like old wise wisdom. Who are you learning from? Are you learning from, like, do you need a mentor? Do you need to get back into school? Do you need to start, you know, tutoring yourself? Or what knowledge can you give yourself? I feel like there was some sort of injustice that happened to you because of a lack of knowledge. And because of that lack of knowledge, you have now like educated the fuck out of yourself, or you're getting ready. You're making plans to educate the fuck out of yourself and really take yourself to the next level. Take your life to the next level. Take yourself to the next tax bracket. To some of you are going to be acquiring like a title, or like you get your master's, or you get your doctorate, or you become, you know, something, or an esquire. You get like something with like a title on it. Please clarify the Five of Pentacles reverse. And so I feel like you start to view these injustices very differently once you see what was born from the injustice. The Five of Cups clarified by the Five of Pentacles reversed. There was a lot of spilt milk. Some of you have been like wading in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Ooh, 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 wade in the water. With the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, wade in the motherfucking water. Some of you have been stuck and you've been feeling like you just been in the fucking mud, and that there's just been fuck up after wound after wound after wound. But you've been like, I feel like the divine, the universe, your spirit guides, your spirit squad has been like breadcrumbing you with this, like, just be patient, babe. Just be patient. Just wade in this water. Just wade in the water, because you're about this transition. the transition that is coming. You're going to get to throw away all those old dingy clothes. You're going to get to adorn yourself. You're going to really get to luxuriate yourself. You're going to really be able to bless others. You're going to be able to plant new seeds, plant new trees, replenish the earth. Which is why this redistribution of wealth is coming in. This comes in again. I haven't talked about that. I haven't talked about it all Taurus season, I feel like. But that redistribution of wealth, it's hitting again. But what it says to say, promise I won't cry over spilt milk. Give me a paper towel. Get a paper towel. It's time to reach for how can I sop up this water. It's funny because I just went and I was like bragging about this new farm stand that I got and how it has this like, it has a watering mechanism. It waters the plants. But I said it too often, and so I was like, damn, this thing just keeps going. And I went outside, and I went out in my kitchen, and I saw there was like a little mini flood. Not a mini flood, there was just like a puddle that was forming, and I was like, oh fuck, I gotta clean this up. I'm learning it, learning how often to have the water on, learning how often to plant or to water your seeds, how often to tend to your garden. I feel like there are things that took place in Taurus season that aren't going to make sense until Gemini season, and it feels like it's very earthly. It has to do with your body, it has to do with finances, it has to do with maybe this Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, has to do with something that hurt. But I just feel like there are things that are shifting that's going to put you in the position to redefine freedom for yourself, and for you to redefine comfort for yourself. And so no more willful blindness. No more just leaning on logic, Two of Swords. No more just taking it, for, what someone said. It's time to do your own research. It's time to come up with your own conclusions. It's time to stop interacting in all this gossip or allowing people to talk to you about like petty, dumb bullshit. I feel like there's a lot of healing coming in. You like going a different direction from people or like energies that you just know aren't positively contributing. But no more willful blindness. No more keeping ourselves defensive. No more like la 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 la. If I'm not talking about it, if I'm not looking at it, then I don't have to deal with it. It's time to grow up. We're getting out of that place of adolescence. So we've got to put down that old knowing so we can grab new keys. Maybe some of you are getting a new car. Maybe some of you are getting a new house. Someone coming in with like the keys to your heart, the keys to a great idea. Newness is coming in. Pay attention to what you're holding on to so you can grab what you need to grab. So you can grab what's yours to grab and feel motherfucking worthy of it in the meantime. I love you. You got this, darling.